What I am about to tell you could completely change the way you see the world. Something massive is happening right before your eyes, but most people are too distracted to notice. The chaos is not a coincidence. The global collapse is not a government mistake. Wars, famine, disasters, corruption, none of this is random. The system is broken, and if you haven't realized it yet, you need to wake up now. For the last 7 years, the world has spiraled into madness. Absolute control, technology dominating everything, crises emerging on a global scale. With each passing day, the walls are closing in. What you once thought was fiction is becoming reality. But no one is talking about it. No one is connecting the dots. But in this video, you will understand exactly what is happening and, most importantly, what is yet to come. Stop everything. Something huge is happening, and most people are still asleep to reality. But not you. You can feel it. The world is strange, chaotic, out of control. The wars, the financial collapse, the fear spreading like a virus, this was all foretold. The question is no longer, will this happen, but rather, why is no one talking about it the right way? The last 7 years have already begun, and the clock does not stop. What comes next is not a warning, it is a sentence. 3 phases. 3 waves of destruction. The 7 seals will be opened, and each one will bring an impact like humanity has never seen before. First, a leader will arise, charismatic, powerful, persuasive. He will seem like the answer to the chaos, but hidden beneath his smile is the true intention, absolute domination. The second seal will unleash uncontrollable wars, the third, famine, and the fourth, a level of death so absurd that bodies will pile up in the streets. If what we are living through today already feels apocalyptic, imagine when all of this is happening without control. Will you be ready? And it doesn't stop there. The 7 trumpets will announce the end of any notion of normality. The sky will become a battlefield, with fire and hail falling upon entire cities. The seas and rivers will turn to blood, eliminating any chance of easy survival. Demonic creatures will be unleashed, bringing indescribable terror. And the sun, what was once a symbol of life, will now bring darkness and destruction. Want to know the worst part? Some of these signs are already starting to manifest before our eyes. The Bible has never been wrong, and it won't start being wrong now. Then come the bowls of wrath. This is the final point, no turning back. Painful sores will appear on the bodies of those who chose the wrong side. The heat of the sun will be so extreme that it will burn people alive. Darkness will cover entire kingdoms, and confusion will consume the minds of humanity. The Euphrates River will dry up, paving the way for the greatest war in history. And then, an earthquake so massive that everything you've seen before will seem like child's play. The world will be torn apart, and no one will be able to claim, "I didn't know." A warning is a favor, but the decision is still yours. But here's the detail few talk about: in the midst of this collapse, 144,000 chosen ones will rise. They will be unshakable, spreading the truth that many tried to hide. And among them, 2 witnesses will stand out. They will challenge the system, perform miracles, and when they are killed before the eyes of the whole world, they will resurrect. This will be the ultimate sign that the cards are already on the table. Many will understand too late, but some will still have a chance. The question is, which side will you be on when all of this is happening before you? Do you still think this is just a theory? Look around. The system is crumbling, and the signs are becoming more and more visible. The first seal has already been broken. And what comes with it? A leader. But not just any leader, someone who will be loved, followed, and idolized. He will not take power by force, he will receive it willingly, as if he were the only solution for a collapsing world. But here's the truth that few will see: this is not a savior, it is the Antichrist. He began his rise with promises of peace, but his true intention is absolute control. And what if I told you that the signs of his arrival are already happening? Look at the world. Everything is being set up, exactly as the Bible warned. The second seal is broken, and with it, the illusion of peace disappears. Wars and conflicts spread across all continents. Nations turn against each other, and violence spreads like an uncontrollable wildfire. Fear will become a new currency. What we see today, rumors of war, tensions between superpowers, global instability, are just rehearsals for what is to come. This is not a coincidence. It is a script that was written millennia ago, and now it is being carried out. Do you really believe all of this is just by chance? Then comes the third seal. And with it, famine. But not just any famine, a crisis so brutal that a single piece of bread will be worth its weight in gold. The collapse will be devastating, and whoever controls the resources controls the population. Have you noticed how, in the last 7 years, financial crises, inflation, and control over food have become more and more frequent? This is no accident. This is the beginning of what the Bible described as the greatest period of scarcity in history. And what if I told you that the system is already being set up so that no one can buy or sell without a specific mark? The fourth seal brings something even darker, mass death. We are not talking about isolated tragedies, but a global event. Famine, disease, violence, all will combine to take a third of humanity. Imagine looking around and realizing that 1 in every 4 people you know is simply gone. Humanity has faced plagues, wars, and destruction before, but not like this. This will be absolute. This will be final. The scenarios described in the Bible are no longer distant. They are happening, and yet some still choose to pretend that nothing is changing. The fifth seal brings the cries of those who were persecuted for believing in the truth. They will cry out for justice, and the answer will be clear: hold on, because the time is coming. The world called them fanatics, but now they are martyrs. Religious persecution is nothing new, but what is coming will be on a global scale. With each new law, each new censorship, the walls are closing in. Do you see it? Everything is being prepared. And when the time comes, there will be no more middle ground. Either you are on the right side, or you will be crushed by the system. The sixth seal opens the very sky. Earthquakes so violent that entire cities will disappear. The sun darkens. The moon turns blood red. And then, an eerie silence. The world, which always ignored the signs, will finally look up and realize, there are no more excuses. Judgment has begun. Imagine witnessing something so great, so powerful, that even the most skeptical will fall to their knees. That day is coming. And when it does, no one will be able to say, I didn't know. That was not warned. The seventh seal storm is the silence before. The prelude to what is to come. A silence that screams louder than any chaos. Something is approaching, something that will make everything that came before seem small. Time is running out, and what is happening now is just preparation. The trumpets are rising, and when that happens, the world will never be the same again. The silence has been broken. The first sound echoes through the world, and with it, the beginning of true chaos. The first trumpet sounds, and what is happening is terrifying. Fire and hail mixed with blood fall from the sky. Entire forests burn, crops are destroyed, and the sustenance of millions disappears within hours. Have you seen how, in the last 7 years, uncontrolled fires have devastated the planet? Could all of this really be just a coincidence? Or is it a warning that what the Bible prophesied is beginning? The second trumpet sounds, and something colossal hits the ocean, like a burning mountain being cast into the sea. The impact is catastrophic. Tsunamis, mass destruction, a third of marine life wiped out. Global trade collapses, the world economy crumbles. Imagine a world where ports no longer function, where entire ships disappear. Have you noticed how extreme weather events have been increasing absurdly? You can ignore it, but you cannot escape it. The question is no longer if this will happen, but when. The third trumpet sounds, and now fresh water turns to poison. Rivers and lakes are contaminated, and millions face death from thirst. Have you ever stopped to think about how the last 7 years have brought alarming water crises? Entire regions drying up, water sources being controlled, scarcity becoming real. Now imagine this on a global scale, with no solution. The Bible always warned that this day would come, but humanity, arrogant, believed it always had everything under control. And now, the fourth trumpet brings darkness. The sun, the moon, and the stars lose a third of their brightness. What once illuminated now fades. Imagine a world where days are shorter, where darkness dominates more than light. Natural cycles are destroyed, crops ruined, cold spreading where it shouldn't. The world is already out of balance, extreme climates, unexpected changes. This is not just global warming, it is a warning. But will people realize it before it's too late? And then, something worse. The fifth trumpet sounds, and the depths of hell are opened. Demonic creatures emerge, bringing torment to all those who do not bear the seal of divine protection. They do not kill, but they cause unbearable pain. Imagine a terror that gives you no rest, that makes even the strongest beg for death. Do you think this is fantasy? Tell that to those who have already witnessed supernatural events, unexplained manifestations, an increase in occultism in the last 7 years. The veil between worlds is thinning. The sixth trumpet brings extermination. 1/3 of humanity is wiped out. A demonic force spreads across the world, an army no one can stop. They are not ordinary soldiers. They are lethal entities, reaping lives without mercy. What once seemed like fiction becomes reality, and there is no escape. The signs are already there, rumors of war, increasingly powerful weapons of destruction, technologies that can wipe out entire civilizations in an instant. Everything is aligning exactly as the Bible said it would. The seventh trumpet. The stage. The moment when there is no turning back. The sky opens, and a voice declares, "It is done." The end of the tribulation is near, and now everything moves toward the final phase. What is happening now is just the last opportunity to see the truth. The next step will be even more intense. The final judgment is coming, and the bowls of wrath will be poured out upon the earth. Now there is no turning back. Divine patience has run out, and the final judgment has begun. Those who thought the worst had already happened have seen nothing yet. The 7 bowls of wrath are not mere warnings, they are total destruction. The first pouring brings painful and incurable sores upon those who accepted the mark of the beast. It will not be a simple disease but something visible, humiliating. Have you noticed how, in the last 7 years, the world has been obsessed with digital control, global identification, and surveillance? The system is already being set up. When this mark is imposed, those who accept it will pay a price they cannot even imagine. The second bowl turns the sea into blood. Every living creature in it dies. Imagine the oceans, which sustain millions of lives, becoming a pool of death. No fish, no food, just an unbearable stench of destruction. The third bowl does the same to rivers and freshwater sources. Survival becomes impossible. In the last 7 years, we have seen historic droughts, water crises, and the poisoning of rivers. Do you really think all of this is just a coincidence? Or is the stage already set? The fourth bowl brings a sun so scorching that people will be burned alive. The heat will be unbearable, the atmosphere turning into a furnace of despair. The world is already facing record temperatures, but this will be beyond imagination. And the most shocking thing? Instead of repenting, many will blaspheme against God. It is as if humanity is determined to follow the path of destruction. Do we already see this behavior today? The fifth bowl plunges the Antichrist's kingdom into absolute darkness. The center of world power will be taken over by an inexplicable terror. Imagine entire cities blacked out, without light, without communication, without order. Absolute chaos. In the last 7 years, we have seen mysterious blackouts, unexplainable technological failures, cyber attacks that can destroy entire systems. The Bible has always made it clear that the fall of the empire of darkness was imminent. Now, the stage is set. The sixth bowl dries up the Euphrates River, paving the way for the greatest war in history. Troops from all nations will move toward a definitive confrontation. It will be Armageddon. Behind the scenes of the world, military alliances are forming, armies are strengthening, latent conflicts are on the verge of eruption. What is happening now is not just politics, it is prophecy being fulfilled. And when this war begins, there will be no safe refuge. The seventh bowl is the end. An earthquake so violent that it will destroy entire cities, islands will disappear, mountains will crumble. Giant hailstones will fall from the sky. Everything man has built will be reduced to dust. In that moment, many will understand that the Bible was always right. But for many, it will be too late. Do you still have doubts? Or have you already realized that what is happening before our eyes is just the preparation for this great moment? The 7 bowls have been poured out. Judgment is complete. But, now what? Amid absolute chaos, an unexpected light. Rise. When everything seems lost, when the system is crushing any remnant of hope, a special group will rise, the 144,000. They won't be just any group, they will be chosen, sealed, and protected by God Himself. Their mission? To spread the truth in a world that refuses to hear it. While many will be terrified, these men will be unshakable. But, what if I told you that the preparation for this moment has already begun? They won't preach any message. It will be something so impactful that no one will be able to ignore it. While the Antichrist tries to control everything and everyone, the 144,000 will carry a truth that cannot be censored. Imagine this, amidst global collapse, there are people who simply cannot be touched by the system. No persecution will be able to stop them. Have you noticed how, in the last 7 years, censorship has increased? How certain messages are being silenced? That's just a preview of what's coming. But they won't be the only ones. 2 mysterious figures will arise, and when they speak, the whole world will listen. They are the 2 witnesses. They will appear in Jerusalem, and everything about them will defy human logic. They will prophesy, perform miracles, and no one will be able to stop them. Whoever tries to kill them will be instantly destroyed. For years, humanity has mocked the prophecies of the Bible. But when these 2 appear, even the most skeptical will be left speechless. Time will pass, and tension will rise. The Antichrist and his followers will hate these witnesses. They will call them terrorists, enemies of peace. The media will demonize them. And then, something unexpected will happen, they will be murdered. Yes, the world will finally eliminate them. Their bodies will be left on the streets, and people will celebrate as if it were a holiday. They will exchange gifts, laugh, and say, "We finally got rid of them." But they have no idea, the real shock is yet to come. 3 days later, they will rise. Yes, in front of the cameras, in front of everyone who mocked them, the 2 witnesses will resurrect. Imagine the scene, the whole world watching, and suddenly, they come back to life. Panic will take over. Fear will be uncontrollable. No more arguments. No more excuses. Those who were asleep will wake up. Those who doubted will now see the truth. But, for many, it will be too late. And then, they will be taken up to the heavens before the eyes of the world. At that moment, a massive earthquake will destroy part of Jerusalem. It will be a clear, undeniable sign, the end is closer than ever. Those who still have ears to hear will understand that the last 7 years are not a metaphor. They are real. And we are living in that time now. But what happens next? If everything that has happened so far has been terrifying, what is about to unfold will change everything. Something much greater is about to be revealed. And when it happens, there will be no more doubts. And then, it's over. The worst has passed. But now comes the most awaited moment in human history. The entire world is in ruins, the system has collapsed, kingdoms have fallen. And when all seems lost, an event will happen that will change everything forever, the heavens will open. But this time, it won't be a sign of destruction, it will be the triumphant return of Jesus Christ. During the last 7 years, the world has suffered chaos, deception, war. But now, finally, justice comes. He will not return as a lamb. He will return as a king. As a warrior. Riding a white horse, surrounded by heavenly armies. All those who defied his authority will see, with their own eyes, that they resisted in vain. The Antichrist? Destroyed. His followers? Defeated. Evil, which seemed to triumph, will be crushed in an instant. This is the moment the Bible has prophesied for centuries. What many called a myth will now be happening before the eyes of the world. And then, a new kingdom begins. A reign of peace, justice, and glory. For 1,000 years, the earth will be restored. There will be no more wars, no more corruption, no more deception. Those who endured will see a world like never before. Can you imagine a planet with no hunger, no violence, no fear? Human governments have failed for thousands of years, but now, everything will be different. The order that humanity has always desired but never achieved will finally arrive. But what about Satan? He will be imprisoned. Locked away, unable to deceive the nations. But pay attention, this doesn't mean the story is over. At the final moments of this new era, he will be released one last time. And unbelievably, many will still be deceived. Even after witnessing everything, there will still be those who choose the wrong side, who challenge the truth. And then, the final judgment will be executed. This time, no second chances. Satan will be thrown into the lake of fire, along with all who follow him. There will be no more darkness, no more evil. Everything will be purified. And then, something extraordinary happens, a new heaven and a new earth. Imagine a world without pain, without tears, without sorrow. No injustice. No loss. No death. That will be the final destiny of those who choose wisely. What humanity has always longed for will finally be reality. And the greatest revelation of all, God will dwell among men. No more distance. No more doubts. The Creator and His creation, finally reunited. The cycle of history will reach its true purpose. If everything prophesied until now is already happening, why doubt the ending? This has always been the plan, and now, it is about to be fulfilled. But before this happens, before all of this becomes reality, there is something else that must be understood. Because if the world has already entered the last 7 years, it means time is running out. Now that you know what is happening, only one question remains: what will you do with this information? You can ignore it, pretend nothing is changing, keep living as if everything will go back to normal. Or you can see reality before it's too late. The signs are here, the prophesied events are unfolding before our eyes. In the last 7 years, everything has accelerated like never before. And trust me, what's coming next will be even more intense. Are you ready for what's about to happen? Or will you wait until it's impossible to escape? Now is the time to act. Share this video, spread this message before the truth is silenced. And if you want to keep discovering what no one is telling you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications now. Because the next videos will show you what's really behind all of this.